Oh, hey there. Do you love Halloween? Me too. Do you have no friends or reason to dress up this holiday season? Great. But do you want to anyways? Same. Hi guys, welcome back to another chaotic art video. And this one is a journey, I'll just say that. So if you're watching this and you're like, ma'am,
I don't really know you, nor do I care about your journey.
I get it, and I respect it. So if you're only here for the destination, you can just skip to the end of this video where I do eventually make said costumes. And you can see that and enjoy that, so goodbye. Okay, now that it's just us, here's the situation. If you've watched some of my videos previously, you may know that I have a certain affinity for the cartoon series Over the Garden Wall. This show has everything. It's got pumpkins, skeletons, children lost in the woods, a singing frog, raccoons in hats, and spirits hungry to devour your soul. It is my autumn comfort show. Last year, my boyfriend and I did that pumpkin head TikTok challenge that was like going around on the internet. And that was really fun and silly, and I love those photos that we have now. And so I kind of want to dress up again this year. I don't have a reason to, per se. Like, we don't know anyone, we aren't going anywhere. But I would kind of like to start this tradition where we just dress up and take a self-timer photo shoot for really no reason. And one day I can make a collage on a wall in our home of all of our silly Halloween looks. So whenever somebody comes over, instead of like a portrait of us in white shirts on the beach, they'll see this. And they'll say, huh. Which is really the energy I'm trying to convey in my home. Very much live, laugh, leave me alone. So that's the explanation. Sorry it was so long. All that to say, I just thought it would be fun to dress up like Greg and Wirt and take some pictures. I did see some costumes for sale on Etsy that fit the theme, but the prices, kind of steep for me. But I'm kind of a crafty lady, so maybe I could put something together on my own. I would like to sew them, but I do not know how to sew. So we do need to learn how to sew. Just real quick, and then we can get into making the costumes. That's why I said it's gonna be a journey. I can't promise I can teach you anything in this video. In fact, if you're watching this and you don't know how to sew, that is ideal. If you're watching this and you do know how to sew, I am so sorry. I do know that I'm doing everything wrong, and I also wish I would stop it. Okay, enough blabbing, let's just get into it. Okay guys, here we go. Now, what actually jump-started this learning how to sew interest was this item right here. I recently inherited my grandmother's old sewing machine. It is a Singer 9410. If that means anything to you. She had several sewing machines over her life, but this was her most recent one, I think. She bought it in 1993. The receipt is still in the box. I think she used it up until she passed away, and then it sat in a humid garage for approximately 10 years, where I'm pretty sure the white plastic weathered into this fine yellow ochre color. Beautiful. And now I have it. I have no idea if it even works. It does turn on, which is a good sign. So shout out to Singer for making a real high quality product for us. But I've never used a sewing machine, not even one time. So I really have no idea what I'm looking at here. This is me being frustrated that no angle in my house looks nice. I wish I had one of those like bright, aesthetically pleasing YouTube backgrounds, but here's my refrigerator instead. I'm gonna give it a good wipe down for sanitization purposes. I also blasted the inner parts with an air gun, and the dust that came out made me wheeze for 2 days. I thought something was wrong with my lungs. It was unsafe. But now I think we're ready to sew something to attempt, but I figured I should do like a practice project first, so we're gonna attempt to make a tote bag of some kind. We're going back to Joann's, gonna pick out some spooky Halloween fabric. I had a lot of options. We had some classic jack-o'-lanterns here. These pumpkin kitties were high quality. We got ghosts. This next one, this was a high contender. This mice in gourds number, a gourd mouse, if you will. But we do need some actual sewing machine supplies, and I was immediately overwhelmed. I was overstimulated. Look at all this thread. Like, do I need a specific type? I have no idea. I needed fabric scissors. Didn't expect to have to choose from an entire aisle of fabric scissors. Sewing needles? Yep. What size and type do you need? No idea. I tried to Google my machine. Not a whole lot of resources on a machine from 30 years ago, turns out. but I got what I got. Choices were made. We're just gonna check out and hope for the best. All right, you guys, I think I blacked out in there. We were inside for 2 hours. I spent $70 on God knows what. I have no idea what I bought. So let's maybe regroup, and then when we get home, we'll do a haul.
The next day.
Okay, I've cleaned the machine. I've watched a fair amount of YouTube videos, so I feel like maybe now I'm ready to try threading it, getting started. Okay, but let me show you our haul. Let me show you what we got from Joann's. First up, I got some Singer Universal Machine needles. Are they the right size? We're gonna find out, I don't know. As well as some bobbins for the bottom of the machine. Again, are these gonna fit? Who's to say? I got some quilting pins to pin my fabric, as well as these little like clippy versions. Those looked fun. I don't know, we'll see which one I like better. I got a seam ripper. I feel like that is gonna be key for all the mistakes that I'm gonna be making. I got some fabric scissors, which were kind of like stupid expensive. I got some thread in this green color. This is my favorite color. I got a tiny little iron. Look at this little baby iron for pressing seams. It seemed like an important item to have online. Editing me here to say, do not buy baby iron. Do not be tempted by baby iron. This was like ironing with a toy. Just like be a better adult and own a regular iron. Okay, bye. Also, I don't have an ironing board, so I just got this little like ironing pad that goes on your washer and dryer. Sure. Then the fabric I chose for the tote bag is this autumnal harvest fabric. It's got pumpkins and veggies and acorns and these little farmer people. And then I also got some little olive colored little square kind of like pieces of fabric, maybe for handles or lining. Who knows? Not me. But yeah, that's just what I picked out to start with. Hopefully it works out. I'm gonna attempt to thread this machine now, and I'm kind of intimidated by it. The videos I've seen online, I don't know, they kind of look hard. So let's estimate, how long do you think it's gonna take me to thread this machine? I'm estimating an hour. I think I will spend an hour, a frustratingly long hour, trying to thread this machine. What do you guys think? Put your guesses down below. Pray for me. Yes, this did take quite a long time, as I thought. These clips here are highly condensed, highly sped up. Like I said, I've never used a sewing machine before. I don't know what the threading is supposed to look like or what that needle do. I'm just trying my best here. I do have the machine's manual, so I use that, paired with some YouTube videos. Even that was a struggle. I wish I had someone to just show me how to do it, but eventually we made some progress. It did do something. I tried sewing together some scrap fabric a few times with decent success. I just sewed, you guys. Oh, look at that, I just sewed. Wow, we're a seamstress. Then I did start on the tote bag project. I followed another YouTube video for reference. I will link it down below. It was 10 out of 10, very helpful. My skills, however, not 10 out of 10, but this is my first try. Okay, we ultimately did get something. By definition, is it a bag? Sure, from afar, looks okay, but do not look at it close up. You know, I was pretty pleased with myself in the moment when I made this. I FaceTimed my dad. I was like, Dad, I'm doing big things. I made a bag. And he was like, huh. But now that I've really had some time to settle and self-loathe, it's really not good. Like my thread lines or seams, whatever you call these, they really wonky as hell, and I ran out of fabric, so I couldn't make a liner. It's a little bit naked on the inside, but whatever. It gave me just enough false sense of self-confidence to move on to the costumes. I already have a few elements to these costumes in my closet as it is, but we are missing a few things. We need Greg's green overalls, his little bow tie, and his teapot hat. And then for Wirt, we need to make his red pointy gnome hat and the cloak. That's the main thing. We also have a new member of our family who joined us after I already started making this video. We got a puppy, and here he is. This is Odin, aka Baby Odie, aka Mama's Little Muffin Man. He will be a part of the channel now, so everybody welcome him. Ow. He is my sweet little angel muffin when he's asleep and an absolute menace to society when he's awake. But he can't be left out. We need to figure out a costume now for him too. So let's get to it. Let's venture out back to get some more supplies.
You're very sweet. Mama loves you. That's a very good muffin. Mama loves you.
Okay, back again. I gotta take a gander down the Halloween aisles first and foremost. I get really down during the summer months, and then autumn and Halloween hit, and I'm like, oh, do I hate myself or is it just hot outside? Okay, all right, and that's on me. But this spooky stuff, it really hits me good. Look, it's a little baby Odie. They did have some pre-made patterns for costumes, cloaks specifically. I considered getting one and then did not because I like to wing it. That's just my spirit. I envisioned doing a dark velvet cloak. I thought that would give it a cool look, but I couldn't find a dark blue velvet fabric. They had some like stretchy knit ones in the right color, but ultimately I think I chose like a firmer, maybe it was like a suit fabric. I don't remember. That trip was kind of a blur. I got a red liner fabric as well for the inside of the cloak, as well as some matching thread. Now we do need some buttons for the cloak as well. There were so many options to choose from. And buttons are expensive, you guys. I had no idea. Maybe because I only like the fancy ones. These were some good contenders I liked. I ended up choosing these. They gave me kind of like Lord of the Ring vibes, like the leaf pin on Frodo's cloak. And actually, both Frodo and Wirt are played by Elijah Wood. Coincidence or preference? Let me know. Now I'd like to do a quick segment called Reviewing Craft Store Buttons. First up, glitter jack-o'-lanterns. This on a black sweater, get out of town, 8 out of 10. Fairy doors, what? So cute, probably not functional as a button, 7 out of 10. Garden vegetables, okay, imagine these as like charms on a beret. Precious, 10 out of 10. The smallest buttons I've ever seen. What are these for? A mouse wearing tiny pants, out of 10. And lastly, these just look like bread buttons, beautiful. I love bread, out of 10.
I love bread.
Okay, back to Greg's outfit. For my bow tie, I found some black velvet ribbon, got a piece of that to use, and I was planning on doing like a foam or paper mache teapot hat, but I saw this teapot birdhouse in the woodcraft section, and I thought, this could work. We love a shortcut. Okay, we got our stuff. In total, it was about $40, so if it turns out, definitely cheaper than some of those Etsy versions that I saw, but can I execute it? Question mark? I don't know, I'm really excited to try. Cut to me in like an hour being like, I hate sewing. Okay, here we go. I'm laying out the fabric to cut out the pieces that will make up our cloak. I gotta say I'm kind of bothered by the setup, the camera quality. Again, here, it's not the best. It kind of looks like I shot it on a potato. Do I need to invest in a better camera or lighting or something? Is this bothering to you guys? That also means I would have to make like a life decision, so I probably will not do that. I'm just being real. I'm also bothered by the fact that I didn't think to wear socks in these clips. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with how much bare feet I'm showing on the internet, but I guess enjoy that. That's for free. Here comes my studio assistant, here to bite me and sabotage my work. It's not his fault. He just has a very high badness level relative to his size. Now I'm trying to match up the fabric and cut out same size pieces out of the red fabric for the lining. And I quickly realized I did not buy enough fabric, not even close. So we do need to go back to Joann's for more. And I'd already used my coupons on the first trip, so this fabric was more expensive, and now the total is racking up. In total, was this project cost efficient? No, it was not. Should have just bought the one on Etsy, but thanks to hyperfixation, we're too far in, we gotta keep going.
Thanks to hyperfixation, all I can think about is the new hobby.
I pinned all the pieces together at the edge and then sewed those together to forge the cloak. It was at this point that I actually started feeling good about what I was making. Like, look at this thing. It is definitely cloak-like. I added a collar onto it. She was serving looks. Now all I need to do is combine the blue fabric with the red fabric, right? no problem. Actually, big problem. Cut to me in like an hour being like, I hate sewing. This is how much thread I wasted every time I had to rethread a bobbin. It was always way too loose, couldn't figure it out. My stitches, on one side, looked okay. Other side, hot tangled mess. Had to rethread the machine like 10 times trying to figure this out. My 2 fabric pieces never lined up correctly. Could not combine them evenly. I hacked this cloak to bits trying to get the pieces even. Didn't work out. Cut too much red off. Had to sew 2 scraps together, just trying to get it to fit onto the blue again. I used an entire spool of blue thread. Not because you need to, that's just how much I messed up.
I hate sewing.
On the bright side, Odie loved the spool.
Oh. Thank you. Bye.
Guys, I am not having fun anymore.
I hate sewing.
No matter what I do, how I cut it, how I line up the fabric, my pieces never match up together. There's fibers everywhere. I've been doing this for hours and I'm over it. I did cry a little, just a little bit. I'm just frustrated really that my brain can't figure this out. I don't do well with things that require planning or measuring or forethought. My brain just doesn't work that way. She can only wing it. She's an interpretive dancer. So the plan is we're gonna regroup and then we're gonna pivot because I'm over it. So instead of trying to make this like a perfect wearable item, we're gonna make it passable from a distance. Like I'm not wearing this thing anywhere. I don't need it to be perfect. Like I just need it to look good for a few photos. And then, I know, bud, it's horrible. And then we can place it in the trash can and never speak of this again. So if that means I need to hot glue down some seams and some mistakes, then so be it. And that is what I did. Sorry to disappoint, but sometimes you just gotta keep it moving. You gotta break out the hot glue. I also glued on the buttons because, again, over it, couldn't be bothered. Maybe I can rip these off and repurpose them at a later date. But here's what we ended up with. I mean, it's not a cloak, right? Like at this point, I'll take it. Did not hem it, got some strings hanging off on the bottom, but couldn't do it. Didn't want to look at it anymore. I know this video is getting long, but we're not done yet. We still have to make the hats. For Wirt's hat, I'm taking a piece of poster board and cutting and forming that into a cone shape that'll fit on my head. I know I looked like I measured it, but I didn't measure a thing. I cut into that thing with the candor of someone who has nothing left to lose. I rolled that bee into a cone and secured it together with hot glue. Then I needed to sew a scrap of that red fabric into a sleeve that could slip over the cone. I was like, come on, I can make a sleeve, right? How hard could that be? Turns out for me, quite hard. My attempt didn't fit at all. Way too big. Guys, I think I just don't know how to measure things, and that is embarrassing, but it is my truth. On the second attempt, I asked my boyfriend to help me measure it, and look at that, so sweet. This is truly my ghost moment. His measurement fit perfectly, first try, so, you know, we all have our special talents. I'm just wrapping the excess fabric at the bottom into the hat and gluing it in place. That'll do, pig. This is the last craft, our teapot hat. I just pulled off the topper and that little bird perch here. I painted the whole thing with a silver metallic paint, added a few details with a dark gray and a white, and then I flipped the teapot upside down and hot glued it onto a headband. All right. Okay, here's the thing. I am delusional generally, but not so delusional that I think I could actually make my own overalls after that experience. So we're gonna have to buy some of those. I found some secondhand on Poshmark. I just typed in green overalls in my size, and I found these for 10 bucks. So you know what? I'll take it. I already have this ridiculously extra collared blouse that I got at Target, I think over a year ago, with no intention of wearing this in my everyday life. But in the moment, I was like, oh, that would be really cool for a costume or like a cosplay. You know, like maybe corseted for like a steampunk look or like a pirate wench. If I ever had an occasion where I needed to dress like I was being tried for witchcraft, right? Have I ever cosplayed in my life? No, but it's one of those hobbies that I could just see myself potentially getting into in the future, hypothetically. So we bought the shirt. I tied that little ribbon into a bow and I'm just gonna safety pin it onto the collar. Yes. My boyfriend is gonna be Wirt. He just has like a plain white shirt and dark slacks. I did order some suspenders for him though. We didn't have that. Check. And as much as I would have loved to hand crochet a little outfit for Odin to be the frog, Jason Thunderburger, mama's over it. So I did order him a little outfit for him as well. And now finally, 2 months after I started making this video, we are finally ready all together to go take our photo. Side note, Patrick doesn't love the idea of being on camera, the thought of being on YouTube, not for him. So for his privacy, I'm going to cover his face with the face of Hup from Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. I am not dating Hup from Dark Crystal, that is Patrick, just wanted to clarify. Okay, let's go. Well, what do we think? Look, not much for me to say other than this is kind of an embarrassing thing to do in public. People were looking at us and we wanted to die. But Hup looks incredible in his janky glue gun cape. Like this video for Hup, you guys. He was a good sport about it. I didn't get the best pictures or footage of this, to be honest. There was a very limited time window for a calm and cooperative puppy. But hey, we did it, and who really cares what we look like in the end when Odie looks like this?
I mean, then look at this then. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing.
I know I was kind of hard on myself in this video. I tend to do that. Some people scold me for it, so I am sorry about that. I promise I am okay. I'm not gonna give up on my sewing journey. I just need a little bit more practice. Like in the distant future, when the hurt and the pain go away. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it was all over the place, but I appreciate you being here. So I hope you have a great Halloween, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!